Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about a force more powerful than gravity, more reliable than the rising sun, and more influential than any external circumstance you will ever face. This force is invisible, silent, and constant, yet it determines whether we soar like eagles or crawl in mediocrity. I am talking about the cosmic habit force, the universal law that transforms thought into habit, habit into action, and action into destiny. Napoleon Hill, the man whose principles have helped build empires of wealth and empires of character, taught us that success is no accident. It is the result of definiteness of purpose, burning desire, and the habits we form daily, governed by this cosmic law. Before we begin today's message, I invite you to take action, deliberate, definite action. Just as success begins with a single decision, so does transformation begin with a single click. If you find value in the truths we're about to uncover, press that like button. It is your signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. Subscribe, not just for content, but for continued growth. Think of it as a commitment to your higher self, a promise to feed your mind with principles that empower. And the bell icon, that is your wake-up call. Activate it, and you will never miss the ideas that could be the turning point in your journey. Lastly, if this message speaks to you, share it, because one idea, in the hands of the right person, can change the world, and perhaps you will be the bridge between that idea and the destiny it was meant to fulfill. Now, let us begin. Everything that exists in your life today, your results, your habits, your circumstances, began not with action, but with thought. Thought is the origin of all creation, the first cause of every success and every failure. You are not shaped by what happens to you, but by how you think about what happens to you. You are not the product of your environment, you are the product of your mental environment. You see, the mind is like a fertile field. It does not discriminate. Whatever seeds you plant, whether they be seeds of abundance or scarcity, confidence or fear, victory or victimhood, the soil of your subconscious will accept them, nurture them, and grow them into habits. And those habits become your character, your actions, your life. Plant a thought and you reap an action. Plant that action enough times and you reap a habit. Continue repeating that habit and you build a personality. That personality drives your destiny. This is the chain of creation, and it all begins with the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. So I ask you, what are you planting today? Are you allowing weeds to grow? Unchecked thoughts of doubt, anger, jealousy, procrastination? Or are you deliberately choosing thoughts that empower you, thoughts of purpose, gratitude, courage, and growth? You cannot plant corn and expect to harvest wheat. And yet people plant thoughts of failure and wonder why success eludes them. They nourish fear and expect to live with peace. It does not work that way. The cosmic habit force, that universal law that governs all habit, will take the dominant thoughts of your mind and, through repetition and emotion, harden them into routines. And once a thought becomes a habit, it begins to move your life in its direction automatically, without effort, without conscious will. Therefore, be vigilant. Guard your mind like a fortress. Speak only that which you desire to see. Think only that which you wish to become. When a negative idea knocks, do not open the door, replace it instantly with its opposite. Train your mind as you would train a muscle, because thought is the first movement toward mastery. Remember, no one drifts their way to greatness. Great lives are grown not in bursts, but by small seeds planted daily, intentionally, and with faith. Begin with your thoughts, because what you plant in the garden of your mind today will become the harvest of your life tomorrow. Repetition is nature's great builder. It is through repetition that rivers carve canyons, that trees reach for the heavens, that the sun rises without fail. And so it is with the human mind, the most powerful instrument in the universe, which is shaped not by what you do occasionally, but by what you do consistently. Understand this: every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, if repeated, becomes a part of you. It becomes etched into your subconscious, as if written in stone. That is the law, and the law makes no exceptions. Whether you are building the habit of excellence or the habit of excuse making, repetition is the tool by which it is forged. People speak of willpower as though that alone creates change. But willpower is a candle in the wind compared to the blazing furnace of repetition. Willpower gets you started, repetition gets you finished. Repetition creates rhythm, and rhythm leads to automaticity. And once a habit becomes automatic, you no longer fight to do the right thing. It becomes your default. It becomes as effortless as breathing. Think of the world's highest achievers, the great inventors, leaders, athletes, and thinkers. They did not reach their heights through occasional brilliance, but through deliberate repetition of excellence, day after day, year after year. Their success was not an act, it was a system, a pattern of behavior strengthened through relentless consistency. Yet repetition cuts both ways. You can repeat procrastination and become excellent at delay. You can repeat doubt and become an expert in hesitation. The cosmic habit force does not judge what you repeat, it simply engraves it into the operating system of your life. So choose your patterns wisely. Repetition is how you speak directly to your subconscious mind. If you repeat words of faith, they become your truth. If you repeat acts of discipline, they become your nature. If you repeat movement toward your goal, even the smallest of steps, you gain momentum. And momentum, once gained, is a mighty ally. Make excellence a habit by practicing it daily. Speak your affirmations until your mind accepts them as fact. Visualize your success until your inner world becomes more real than your current circumstances. Act like the person you wish to become until the world has no choice but to accept it as reality. Repetition is not punishment, it is freedom, because once the right habit is established, it will carry you forward without struggle. The man who repeats growth becomes growth. The woman who repeats belief becomes unstoppable. In repetition, you are not just forming habits, you are forming destiny. There is no force more potent in the human experience than a mind that knows exactly what it wants. Definiteness of purpose is not merely a goal, it is the compass, the steering wheel, the guiding star by which all great lives are navigated. Without it, even the most brilliant mind is like a ship without a rudder, drifting, tossed by the waves of circumstance, vulnerable to every distraction and delay. You must understand that the universe does not reward vague intentions. It rewards clarity, commitment, and unwavering direction. A man with a clear purpose moves with power. He does not waste energy on indecision. He does not hesitate at every fork in the road. He acts because he knows where he is going. And that knowing activates unseen forces. It attracts people, opportunities, resources, and ideas that align with his aim. Definiteness of purpose is the filter through which all decisions must pass. When you know your purpose, you no longer ask, should I? You ask only, does this serve my mission? It creates order out of chaos, focus out of fog, progress out of paralysis. Without a purpose, your habits have no direction. Your actions have no aim, but with purpose, every habit you form becomes a stepping stone, every repetition a brick in the structure of your future. Too many people live reactively, allowing the opinions of others, the trends of the moment, or the fear of failure to determine their path. But the individual who claims their purpose not half-heartedly, but with burning conviction, becomes dangerous to doubt, immune to distraction, and unshakable in adversity. The world may not believe in him at first. That matters not. His belief in his purpose is enough to sustain him until the world must pay attention. And here lies a critical truth. Definiteness of purpose is not about knowing every step, it is about knowing the destination. You may not yet know how to get there. You may stumble, adjust, and reroute. But when your aim is definite, every setback becomes part of the journey, not the end of it. Life may challenge you, but it cannot stop you because you are no longer wandering, you are pursuing. Once you have chosen your purpose, write it, speak it, affirm it daily. Let it saturate your thoughts, guide your mornings, fuel your evenings, build your habits around it, align your environment with it. Speak only what reinforces it. Say no to anything that steals from it. A mind with purpose becomes magnetic. It becomes focused. It becomes powerful. Like a laser, it cuts through noise and resistance. And when that purpose is linked with emotion, with faith, and with persistence, you become unstoppable. The cosmic habit force will respond. Your repetitions will take form, and your life, once directionless, will move with the quiet strength of destiny. Purpose is not just what you seek, it is what you become. If thought is the seed, and repetition is the water that nourishes it, then emotion is the sunlight that causes it to grow with power and speed. Emotion is not a passive element in the creation of habit and destiny. It is the activator, the amplifier, the energy that breathes life into every thought and every action. You cannot build greatness on cold routine alone. You must feel your way into the life you desire. Emotion is the fire that transforms intention into obsession, the kind of obsession that compels you to act again and again until your very being is aligned with your goal. Think about it. What are the moments that shaped you most in life? They were not the ones filled with dull repetition or lukewarm interest. No, they were the moments charged with emotion, joy, fear, pride, pain, excitement, determination. These feelings imprinted themselves upon you. Why? Because the subconscious mind responds not to logic, but to emotion, and the subconscious mind, once influenced, turns every repeated emotional experience into automatic behavior. This is the secret. If you wish to create a habit that sticks, a mindset that lasts, you must wrap it in feeling. When you visualize your success, feel the victory. When you affirm your purpose, feel the power of your words. When you take action toward your goals, let every movement be fueled not by duty, but by desire. Feel it deeply, and you plant it deeply. This is why so many resolutions fail. They are built on intellect, not emotion. They are cold promises without passion. But when you ignite your goal with true emotional investment, when you fall in love with the vision of who you are becoming, then no obstacle can hold you back. Emotion makes the invisible visible, the intangible tangible. It turns someday into now. Understand this. Every time you combine positive emotion with repetition of thought or action, you are reinforcing that pattern tenfold. Gratitude supercharges belief. Enthusiasm multiplies your energy. Faith removes hesitation. Courage silences fear. These emotions are more than feelings. They are tools for transformation. Even so-called negative emotions, when harnessed correctly, can be powerful allies. Let anger fuel your refusal to stay small. Let frustration birth your breakthrough. Let disappointment become the fire that forges your determination. The key is directing the emotion, not suppressing it. The cosmic habit force responds most powerfully to thoughts charged with emotion. It cannot help but obey. It is a universal law like gravity, and just as electricity requires voltage to create light, your thoughts require emotion to create change. It is not enough to think success, you must feel successful. It is not enough to repeat affirmations, you must believe them in your bones. Emotion is the difference between wishing and knowing, between saying and doing, between ordinary effort and extraordinary achievement. So speak with emotion, Act with emotion, visualize with emotion, and let every beat of your heart echo your purpose. Because once your emotions align with your vision and your habits align with your emotions, you don't have to chase your destiny. It will be drawn to you. Your mind is your most valuable asset, the inner sanctuary from which all your decisions, actions, and results emerge. And just like a castle must guard its gates from invaders, you must guard your mind from thoughts, habits, and influences that seek to weaken you. Because what enters the mind unchecked repeats, and what repeats becomes habit. And what becomes habit becomes character, for better or for worse. The truth is this: you are always being programmed, every day, every hour, through the words you speak, the people you associate with, the content you consume. Your subconscious is being shaped. And unless you stand as a vigilant guardian at the door of your mind, you will absorb beliefs and behaviors that do not serve your purpose, your vision, or your highest self. The cosmic habit force does not question what you feed it. It does not separate the good from the bad, the useful from the destructive. It simply takes what is repeated and locks it into place. That is why so many people find themselves trapped in patterns they never consciously chose: habits of procrastination, worry, fear, doubt, and self-sabotage. These were never chosen on purpose, they were allowed in by neglect. And here lies your power. You can choose differently. You can replace the bad with the good, not by resisting the bad, but by overwriting it with something stronger. Nature abhors a vacuum. You cannot simply remove a bad habit and leave space. You must install something better in its place. If you complain often, replace it with gratitude. Speak out loud what is good in your life until it drowns out what isn't. If you doubt your potential, replace it with belief. Read the words of greatness. Listen to the voices of those who have achieved, and saturate your mind with possibility. If you delay action, replace it with movement, any movement. A single forward step breaks the pattern of paralysis. Do not underestimate how quickly the mind can change when given new instructions, especially when those instructions are consistent, emotionally charged, and tied to a definite purpose. Each time you act in alignment with your higher self, you weaken the old pattern and strengthen the new one. And repetition over time will hand the reins over to the cosmic habit force, which will automate your success just as easily as it once automated your setbacks. This is not an overnight process, but it is a guaranteed one. With every conscious replacement, every good thought that overtakes a negative one, every empowering habit that overrides a destructive one, you rewire the operating system of your life. The mind is not a trash, and do not fill it with doubt, gossip, worry, or fear. Be ruthless with what you allow in. Choose your influences as carefully as you would choose your companions on a dangerous journey. Because that's exactly what this is, a journey toward becoming your greatest self. Remember, your future is being built not by the grand, dramatic decisions you make once in a while, but by the small choices you make every day, the thoughts you allow to linger, the habits you allow to repeat. So, guard the gate. Replace what weakens with what strengthens, and in doing so, you will become the architect of a life built on intention, not accident. Once the bad is replaced with the good, and the good becomes habitual, the cosmic habit force will carry you forward like a current, not because you forced it, but because you trained it. And once trained, it will not stop. It will carry you to greatness. So I say to you, stop waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. The cosmic habit force is already inside you, responding to your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs right now. Make it your servant, not your master. Feed it with purpose, repetition, emotion, and clarity, and it will build the life you've dreamed of, brick by brick, habit by habit. Let the cosmic habit force work for you, not against you. Let it be the wind at your back, not the weight on your shoulders. And above all, take the first step today. Thank you.